Hello and welcome to Walk in My Shoes. This is Dan Vasquez, your host, and I'm so happy that you're joining us today for another episode as we're exploring different careers. And today we have a very special guest, and I can't wait to introduce to you today Amaya Morris. Amaya, welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
We're so happy to have you. So, first of all, thank you for coming in and having a little chat with us. And so, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your specialty.
Yes, well, I'm Amaya Arroyo. My specialty is dance. I've been dancing for about 8 years. I currently train at Columbia College Chicago, and I am a dance major there.
That's awesome. That's
Yes.
awesome. So you have the last name Arroyo.
Yes,
That's
Arroyo.
a Hispanic last name. So that's where did that come from? Where did the last name come from?
Well, I am half Puerto Rican.
That's awesome. Well, I'm 100% Mexican, so we shared some Latin blood right there.
Yes, a little
That's
bit.
awesome. And tell us, you are currently a student at, where are you studying in Chicago?
Columbia College Chicago.
That's a great school.
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful liberal arts school right in the center of downtown Chicago.
Oh my goodness! And what semester are you taking?
This is my 3rd year in August, so
Wow.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
Getting
You're
to the
right in the
end.
middle. You're crossing half the finish line.
Yes.
That's amazing. And
Yes.
have you enjoyed it? How has your experience been there in college, moving from Columbus to Chicago?
Well, Columbus and Chicago are very, very different. I would say Chicago's a lot bigger,
Yeah.
for sure, and there's a lot more culture there. It was a bit scary at first, the transition from small city to big city. I would say Columbus is kind of a big city, but Chicago's even bigger. So
Yeah.
that was kind of scary, moving from like not really public transportation to having to use public transportation everywhere I go. It's just, and then the dance scene is so much different there. Just like the dance training is different, the style is different.
So was dancing one of the reasons why you chose this school?
Yes, they have a great dance program, and the dance scene in Chicago was something that I really admired growing up. I watched a lot of companies like Deeply Rooted and Hubbard Street Dance just performing, and that was like a goal of mine. So Chicago was also, my dad's from Chicago.
Oh, wow,
so I
okay.
had visited before and I loved it.
And you loved it. So, and you're originally from Columbus?
Yes.
Okay. What
Yes.
what high school did you go to?
Cristo Rey Columbus High School.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
So COC does the internship program.
We're a partner, yeah,
Yep.
with Krista Ray. Oh, that's amazing,
Yeah.
man. Awesome. So let me hear about your story. When did this passion for dancing came about?
Okay, well, I had a little bit of an untraditional start to dance. Most people start when they're really young, and most people train with a studio that is pretty much already established up until they graduate. I started when I was around 12 years old.
Okay.
I went to a middle school called Renaissance Academy, and we had these electives on Fridays. And there was dance, there was stepping, I don't remember the other electives, but dance and stepping was one of them. And I didn't really like the other electives, and I had never danced before, so I really wanted to try it. And so I tried it out. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't very good at it. I was really awkward and lanky, and it wasn't for me at the time. But I chose to stick with it because it was fun. And so the dance coach that was teaching dance classes, I guess, saw some potential in me and 2 other girls. She took us 3 and decided to start a competition team. And so if you've ever seen Dance Moms, we started doing competitions that they were doing, not the same ones at the same time, but that style of dance competition.
Okay.
And so we went, we tried it out, and we got 2nd place on our first time,
Oh,
which was
wow, that's
amazing.
great.
Yeah, and it was really fun. It was nice having a team. It was really good team building, and it was great character building, activities. So we did that, and then from there, a few years later, we were still competing, more and more competitions, growing a team. Eventually, she opened a dance studio. Her name's Samara Tillman. It's called Dance Elite Performance Academy here in Columbus.
Yeah.
And we've been open for about 8 years, which is the extent of my dance training.
Wow.
And I've been dancing there since I was 12.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yep.
Wow, what a journey. And you know, right now when I look in social media and all the young people are, TikTok is huge because you
Yes.
can do dance move and things like that.
Yep.
So right now, talking about culturally, talking about our younger people are expressing a lot themselves a lot
Yes.
during dance. So it's amazing that you're doing just that right now. Why do you think this is happening? Why do you think the young people right now are really getting into dancing?
Well, which is I'm so happy to see that dance is becoming a bigger thing in all aspects. I am really a big advocate for anybody can be a dancer. It is very technical, and for some of the careers you do have to be very well trained, but anybody who has a body can move their body can dance. And it's really important that people know that because it is a way of expressing yourself rather than, and the technical part is pretty important, but rather than always thinking about the technical aspect of it, it's important to just know that it's a great way to have fun and connect with other people.
Yeah.
And so I think
Yeah.
people, as the arts are becoming a bigger thing in society, people are starting to see that dance is just as expressive as anything else.
As you're talking, I'm reminded of something that Kobe Bryant said back in the day. They were asking him in an interview, and then he said this statement, and it stuck with me. He said, "When I'm in the basketball court, I communicate in the court. I communicate." So basically, he's saying, I am expressing who I am as
Yeah.
playing basketball. So dancing is a form of communication, isn't
Yes. Oh, for sure. As the career goes on, when you start actually building a career out of dance, there are a lot of social issues that companies like to tackle with dancing, and it's very interesting. There were the modern dance movement. There's a postmodern movement where there's a lot of social issues that they like to kind of touch on through dancing. They would do protests. There would be what's it called?
that
And
is
you
so cool.
do a flash mob.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, things like that.
So wait, they would protest with dancing?
Yes.
Oh wow, I've never seen that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, dance is, there's a lot of issues you can tackle. Like personally, when I used to compete, my team did a dance called trafficking. It was about human trafficking.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we wanted to really touch on that issue and make it known that it was very important to recognize and bring awareness to that social
That's
issue.
incredible.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a great way to communicate. And then talking internationally,
Yes.
every culture, every country has different types of dancing.
Yes. Yes.
Is there one that you're more inclined to, or a favorite one that you have?
Well, my favorite style of dance personally is contemporary dance,
Okay.
which is pretty different all around the world. But the contemporary dance I focus on is like a mixture of jazz techniques, West African techniques, modern techniques.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and I like to interpret a lot of things when I dance with my body.
I had the opportunity to visit Africa before,
Okay.
and I got to see some of the dancing in Africa. and
Oh.
I was like, that's another level.
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
And so West African dance is one of the classes that I study at Columbia. Yes, it's required for our credits towards our
Wait,
degree.
wait, let me go back. You just said that you took dancing classes in college.
Oh yeah.
Are you took in theory, or did you have to be dancing in the class?
Well, so the whole major, the dance major outline is you have to have certain dance classes and have credits for those certain dance classes, and those classes include ballet, modern, contemporary techniques, hip hop, and West African. And so with those, we also have to take our gen eds, which is like science, math, all that.
Right.
And then with that, we have our required classes that is pretty much theory. Like we have to take an improvisation class, we have to take a choreography class.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like
It's a whole package.
Yeah.
It's a whole other world.
Yeah, so we study it, and we're learning to become people in the world as well as well-trained dancers.
Wow, that's amazing. So at the beginning you said that you were not very good at it, or you didn't feel like you were not very good at it
No, I
when
wasn't.
you started. At what point did you decide, this is what I want to do?
I would have to say maybe my junior year of high school. that's when I really tapped into my passion. I had started to get good at it during like freshman year of high school, and I was starting to
How do you
like
know
it
you were
enough.
getting good at it?
I mean, I would
People telling you?
people, I was taking more advanced classes. I was getting higher scores at dance competitions,
Okay, yeah.
and I just I felt like I was doing good at it,
Yeah.
which is very important. You have to feel in your heart of hearts that you're doing it and you enjoy it and that you're good.
Yeah.
But junior year is really when my passion started to develop. We were competing a lot more. We had a lot more dances to compete, and a lot of the dances were things that I like to do, that I felt passionate about. And I really just decided one day on stage, like, this is it. This is my career. This is what I want to do. And I was a little nervous because junior year of high school, you're like deciding what you want to go to college for. You're deciding what you want to do after college, if you even want to go to college. And so this was like a great moment for me. I was like, I'm going to study dance. And you don't have to go to college to be a dancer, which is, but I have wanted to extend my training as much as possible, and I felt that going to college for it was probably the best way to do it.
So going to college with this degree, is it because something you want to do in the future, or what's the future looks like for you?
Well, for me, I would like to be a company dancer, which some of my like dream companies are like Alvin Ailey, Deeply Rooted, just major like modern based kind of companies. And so with this degree, I am getting the training that I would need, which, like I said, it's not necessary, but it's what I wanted to do for my own personal training. And it's just a step that you'd have to take as a dancer. Like, how do I want to extend my training? Do I want to maybe not go to college and just take classes here, or do I want to go right into auditioning? Just things like that. And so after college, I really want to be a company dancer, and I also would like to choreograph for companies. I would also maybe like to teach sometime in the future, which this degree would actually be needed for.
Yeah. So you will be certified. You will good to go and all of that. All right. So you also helped us during CLC's Marvelous Summer Camp.
Yes.
And you were an integral part of this. And I know that sometimes they were dancing with the kids. As you were working with the kids, did you ever saw a child and you said, okay, this kid has potential for dancing?
Yes.
What are some of the things that you look at when you say this is going to be good at it?
Well, it's just like a natural movement quality that you kind of see. Everybody has their own movement quality, which is like the style and way in which you move. And I noticed a child one day, she was turning and she was doing like it's called a pirouette. She didn't know what she was doing. She had no idea that's what she was doing. I said,
is that a ballet move?
Yes, it's a ballet move, or it can be a jazz move too. Okay. There's a classic pirouette, there's a ballet pirouette. But this child was doing a pirouette, and I looked at her and I said, do you know what that is? And she was like, no, I was just doing it.
She was just feeling it.
She was just doing it. And I said, you just did a dance move called a pirouette, and you did it really well. Do you want to be a dancer? And she was like, oh, no, I don't do dance. I'm sorry. I was like, well, maybe think about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's just things, you see a child do something. Like if you see a child do a flip, you're like, oh, maybe you should practice that. You can get really good at it. So that's just kind of what you look for when you see younger people kind of entering into like moving their bodies.
Yeah. So this is something in the future you might do, training younger people to do this kind of things.
And I teach sometimes at my former studio, and I currently teach privates now.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
So wait, if anybody wants to learn, they can contact you, and you can schedule a time. You can go to the places.
I'm here for a limited time, but.
Oh, that's right. You're going back to college.
Yes.
You're going back to college to finish. That's awesome. But that's great. And when you coach somebody, do you go to their homes, or you meet in a neutral place, or how
we meet at my studio.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. So as far as skills. Well, no, before that, let me ask you, do you have any family members that are also dancers, or are you the first one?
Let me think. I think I'm the first one. Yeah, my mom used to dance, but not like what I'm doing. So she just really loved to dance.
Wow.
So I think honestly I'm the first person in my family to really train at it.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. That you took it to the next level.
Yes.
As far as some of the skills
Yes.
that you need, I think you touched a little bit about that, but what about knowledge and ability? What can you say to someone who wants to get into this field?
Well, dancers are very smart, and counting is a very important part of dancing. Music is a really big thing. Like, you have to know music pretty well, rhythm. Endurance is a really big skill that you would need as a dancer, because
So you gotta
sometimes
train.
you really have to train. And so that's why it's important that, like, while I'm training, I'm still taking, gen eds and, theory classes, to work my brain a little bit, so that, I'm not a log.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be a smart person. Like, you have to be smart as a dancer. You have to know music, endurance. It takes muscle and ability. Just all of that. Endurance is probably one of the biggest ones, because we could be dancing for 2 minutes, or we could be dancing for 10 minutes straight. It's pretty hard.
Do you think all the dances of the world has been already invented, or do you think there's more dances to be invented?
Oh, there's definitely more dances to be invented. It's just about, you see people do a move, and it's like, okay, I'm going to try that, and I'm going to develop it a little bit more. And then someone sees me doing that, and then they're going to, try it and then develop it a little bit more.
Is there a personality trait that you have to have in order to be a dancer, or can it be a shy person?
Well, I know some pretty shy dancers. It's, but most times they're shy. When they get on stage, it's a completely different person.
Wow.
There is a lot of personality that goes into dancing, whether it be a jazz dance, you have to be really big and, excited. And if it's a lyrical dance, you really want to show all your emotions. If it's contemporary, you kind of got to be a little more intense. There's a wide range of emotions that you would need to be able to tap into. And personality is going to help with that.
So would you say an extrovert would be a better dancer than an introvert? Or?
I wouldn't say they would be a better dancer, but it would be easier for them to tap into, performance.
Okay, that sounds good. How does technology plays a role with this?
That's difficult. Well, I guess Zoom, the transition to Zoom in the last year, as that technology has played a really big role. A lot of classes have shifted from being in person to moving online. Like, there's Instagram Live classes, there's people host virtual classes on Zoom all the time. Even my school, we had all of our classes on Zoom when the pandemic first hit. And even last year, we had some in person, some on Zoom. Yeah. So, I mean, computers, Zoom, that played a role. But before then, music, like I said, other than just the rhythm of it, knowing how to work a computer, or we even cut music sometimes. So for performances, you have to maybe know how to do that. So technology doesn't play a major role in dance, but it's a pretty minor role.
And you talked about choreography. That's
Yes.
something that you would like to do. Explain to us a little more. What does choreography mean?
So choreography is when you create. It's pretty much the creation of a dance. So it comes with formations. It comes with focus, which is where you're looking at certain points. It comes with dancing to a piece of music. Sometimes people choose the music before they choreograph. Sometimes they choose it after they choreograph. It just depends on what they're feeling. And it also, you have to know what style you're wanting to do, know if there's an issue you want to portray, maybe that. Sorry. And so when you're coming up with a piece of choreography, it's really you. That's the biggest way to express yourself, especially if you are a choreographer. You're putting yourself on other people, and you're putting yourself on the stage.
A very vulnerable place too,
yes,
right? 'Cause
very,
you're,
very vulnerable.
exposing your inside. That's amazing.
Yes.
That is so cool. Now, are there any famous dancers that you look up to, or anybody that you admire?
Ingrid Silva, Misty Copeland, let's see, Alvin Ailey, Debbie Allen.
Wow.
Yes, all amazing, amazing dancers. People I definitely look up to. Yeah.
All right, so I just have a few more questions.
Okay.
And then we'll take some questions from the audience. But I wanted to touch on dancing as a career.
Yes.
If you are wanting to be a dancer, if somebody's watching right now and you want to be a dancer, how should they present themselves on social media, or what do you think are some good steps to start?
Well, first step would to be find a dance class, and
Okay.
it could be anywhere, and figure out what you're interested in. And if you don't know what style you're interested in, just maybe go to a studio, any studio, your local studio, whatever's closest, and just take a class and see if you like it first. And if you don't like it, maybe try something else. And if you really are like, dance is not for me, then hey, can't be for everyone.
Right.
But if you enjoy it, take another class and
Okay.
try another style, and just keep going to classes. And then eventually, if you decide this is what I want to do as a career, maybe extend your training a little bit more. Maybe if you're young and you're in high school, maybe think about going to school for dance. And with that, there are conservatory programs, so not the traditional like 4-year program that I am in, but there are 2-year programs where you can just take strictly dance classes, and that's it. And if that's something you're interested, you could do that, or you can jump straight into auditions. And if you want to be a company dancer, or if you want to dance on TV, or if you want to be in music videos, a backup dancer, find auditions and just go for it. Always
And
just
you can just Google that and say auditions in Central Ohio or something like that, right?
there are
Wow.
casting calls. There are even websites.
Wow.
I don't remember the particular website I used to use, but there are websites where there are auditions posted everywhere. And then there's like, if you want to be a company dancer, most companies post all of their auditions on social media or on their website.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good to know.
Yes.
All right, let's take some questions. We're getting questions in already from people watching.
Okay.
What would be your ultimate dream stage?
The dream stage. Ooh, I haven't really thought about that one. That one I don't know. I have to think a little bit more.
Okay. Like musicals, famous musicals. Well, I saw the Nutcracker here. That's pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And others. Any of those are your favorite, or any that you like?
Any like performances? I would say the Nutcracker. Or I'm trying to think of any like shows I've seen. Oh, Alvin Ailey's Revelations is one of the like my favorite shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Revelations. Awesome. Is it difficult to become a professional dancer?
It is pretty difficult. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of training. You have to be strong mentally and physically, and you just have to want it. You have to really, really want it. And a lot of the things, a lot of the times, my teacher tells me is that you have to be obsessed with it. If this is something you want to do, you have to be obsessed with it. You can't just say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna dance and maybe train once or twice this weekend and whatever." You have to. Those are the dancers that you look up to, are the type of people you have to follow on Instagram or any types of social media. You have to be watching videos all the time, figuring out ways to strengthen your body, or how can I do this better? Always asking questions. That's a big thing, just always asking questions.
That brings me another question.
Okay.
It could be dangerous. You could hurt yourself
Oh,
if you
yeah.
don't know what you're doing.
Yes, exactly.
What is a common injury that people get from dancing?
A lot of people pull hamstrings, sprained ankles. Sprained ankles is probably one of the most common ones from people in ballet. If your ankles aren't strong enough to support your entire body from head to toe, then you're going down. It's done for. So sprained ankles. A lot of people don't stretch very often, which I'm a little guilty of this sometimes, but without the proper stretching, you could really pull a lot of muscles.
So you have you ever been injured?
I've never been injured. I sprained an ankle once, but that was for soccer. Yeah, so.
I can understand that. I played soccer. Okay. Here's another question. Do you think a proficient dancer can easily get into musical or stage acting?
Oh, yeah. I wish I could sing, and I can kind of act, but I wish I can sing because I would love to be on Broadway. Like that is like a really big dream of mine, but maybe I'll do voice training, but I've kind of, steered off that path a little bit since wanting to become a company dancer. So
Wow.
yeah, a dancer, if you're a great dancer and you have the skill and technique, then you could definitely, do musicals.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Is there a good dancer community here in Columbus?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. There's a great, I mean, the dance scene in Columbus is pretty big. Like if you go downtown to any festivals, there's always going to be a performance.
Yeah.
I would say the black dance community in particular is very big, and it's great. It's amazing. There's a really good sense of community there. So
What has been the thing that you have enjoyed the most? Like, is there has been a project that you worked on, or a stage that you did that that you really enjoyed?
oh, that's tough. I would say maybe I was in a few performances this last semester at school. I would probably say working with one of my professors, Paige Cunningham. She's amazing. She's my ballet professor. She was my modern professor. She teaches a lot of classes. She asked me to be in one of her pieces for our faculty concert, or no, our student performance night. And I really enjoyed working with her, and I really enjoyed her choreography in particular because it really fit what I like to do. And so that project, it was called Radio Supreme, and we danced to the Supremes, and it was all about us persevering and pushing through this like hard time during the pandemic, and just going, stopping, taking a rest, going, stopping, hitting a wall, having to stop. And it was a lot of movement. It was very fast, but I would have to say that was my favorite project that I've ever been in.
How long did that production lasted?
It was 8 minutes, the entire piece altogether. But we rehearsed for about a month.
Wow.
But we only
awesome.
rehearsed once a week.
Okay.
So it was only really. So no, we actually rehearsed for about 2 months, and we only had like 8 rehearsals before we performed it.
Awesome. So we're coming to the close of the time. The time has flown by. You've given us a lot of things, really awesome things. But if there is somebody watching and they say, hey, I really want to explore this field, what would your message be to them?
I would say go for it. Go for it, and really know that anybody can do this. This isn't something that is like, oh, you have to have this certain skill, or you kind of have to be natural at it. There are naturals out there, but anybody who is willing and able and passionate about something, just do it and work your butt off for it, because it is very difficult, and you really have to work at it, but anybody can do it.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Amaya. It's been great having you here.
Thank you.
And we're so excited for the things you've done, and for your future too. We wish you a great next semester, and stay healthy and safe out there as we're going to that. So anyway, thank you very much again for your time. And for all of you watching today, thank you so much for staying with us. We're looking forward to seeing you again next week for another episode of A Walk in My Shoes. If you have more questions for Amaya, feel free to send us questions right there on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're watching. Have a great day, everyone. See you next week, 1 o'clock. Take care.